See, I'm almost done. Now, these screws are in here, and what I like to do is push this all the way in so that I make sure that I don't have too much tension on these wires. So I have to kind of put it at a slight angle because I can't push it straight because the screw's going to go in there. You know what I mean? And sometimes if I have a lot of wires, I'll take the screws out so I can just push it straight in. Okay, now it's just about fishing for the screw holes. Don't tighten this up yet. And I want to make sure this is straight up and down. I don't want it at an angle. See how I bent that over? That's because it needed to go that direction to be flat. Okay, now I can screw this back in. And I don't like to use my battery operated drill. It's an easy way to strip your screw. And because it's just, most of the time it's just going in a plastic electrical outlet box. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of eyeball where I think this needs to be. I see where the pencil mark is there. If anything, this could maybe go over just a little bit. And this is my first go. I may have to move that. I want to put this on and look at that. That looks all nice. That looks good. Look at your cover plate. Man, these are pretty dirty. They probably should be cleaned. That might be something I'll have to do another time or something, but I can see that this one's facing down. That looks pretty good, huh? Now, I can check this. And that's what it looked like. It looked like the top needed to go over. So whoever installed this initially, they should have pushed it over that way a little bit. And so I'm going to see what I can do about that, if this will move. It's not, it looks like it's pushed over all the way. And this one may have to come over that way a little bit. See how there's movement. I can move it over that far. Get that back in there. Boy. Which means now I have to loosen this up and move that over a little bit. Let's just see what that does. Looks like the top of this one has to go over that way to the right, just a hair if I can. Okay. And even when the plate is on, you can see a slight gap here. So if you can see that, and if the gap looks like it's off a little bit, you can still move it. This bottom could go to the left just a little if I can. Okay. I think that's good. That's better. Okay. Now, I'll put my little trim screws back up. I just keep them loose until I get them all connected. Don't tighten it, you know, your first screw or even your second one, because this might need to slightly shift one way or another. You never know. Okay? Sometimes you're like, where's the screw hole at? I'm putting it right in. It's not, doesn't seem to be going. Okay, now this, just make it so it feels snug. Don't over tighten these screws. Last thing you want is to tighten it up a little bit and then have a crack. I mean, it's not the worst thing that could ever happen, but yeah, you're gonna have to go back to the store and get yourself a cover plate and come back and all that, and then fix it. It's not a good idea to leave a cracked cover plate. I don't generally like to do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the little cardboard thing back on the screw, and I've got my old box, my new box. That's a three-way switch. It's not a lighted switch now in this box. And I always carry a Sharpie with me in my nail bag. So this is going to be a three-way switch. It's just not a lighted switch anymore. Three-way. And I'll keep that with all my electrical stuff. Next time I need a three-way switch, kaboom, there it is. And here's a tip for you. I've got this, and I just leave this in my nail bag. But instead of facing it up, I face it down. I face, see all my felt tip pins. This is a smaller one with a smaller tip. Here's another one. This was a really super small tip. Okay, but I keep them all facing down. That way it doesn't dry the tip out. If you leave it like that, you leave it in your nail bag, after a few months, you know, this tip has a tendency to dry out. So I just leave them upside down. There. Okay. I'll turn the breaker back on. Let's see what we got. Okay, I have both breakers turned back on. I haven't touched this yet. The light is on because I had the light on when I turned the breaker off, okay? So when I turn this off, hopefully we get something lit here. And sure enough, that is lit. I'll turn the, I'll close the garage door now so we can see that, and I'll close the side door. I had those on. I had the doors open, so I had enough light in here to show you, so I didn't have to get my construction light out. See how it's lit now? Look at that. Now that's off. Now I'm going to turn the switch on here. Okay, the garage is on. The garage lights are on. Now I'm going to turn this off here. Okay, so that's lit there when it's off. Now let me I want to try to do this differently, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to turn it on from inside the house. Now I'm going to turn this off and see where the light is. Okay, the light's still up top. Okay, whether or not this paddle is out or if it's pushed the other way, because see, it's there right now. Turn it on inside, the paddle's sticking out. Now the paddle's pushed in, and so the light is always at the top. And that's how they've designed it. That's why they had the three-way switch facing up, okay, where it was top. So, does it matter when you install a three-way switch? Well, I guess it does. If it's a lit one, and even a non-lit three-way switch, if you're replacing it or something, see if anything says on it. Now the one I took out, let's take a quick look at that. This one is 17 years old. And let's see if it says top and bottom. Okay, and sure enough, there is a top to it. See right there, T-O-P, see? Okay, on the new one I put in, it just happened to be over there. So I guess it does matter when you're doing a three-way switch, even a non-lit one. Okay, well that's how quick it is to install a lit three-way switch. We're just replacing, if you were replacing a three-way switch, and if it wasn't lit, basically you're gonna do it the very same way, okay? Voila, the lights still work. And the outside light, I didn't even check it, but that other light went outside. I guess I better check and make sure they're off. I think it's on right now, so I'll probably have to go out there, make sure that it's on anyways and that the switch is working. It should, even though it was on a different breaker, it should be working fine, but you just go ahead and check it. Since you turned the breaker off, now go check your lights after you turn the breaker on. Okay, I checked it and everything, and now it's off. And even though I can turn the outside lights off in the garage, I can also do it by the front door. So that tells me this is a three-way switch too. This is a three-way that's connected to the front door. So if you happen to have any light switches, you're like, I don't know what this one's for, or whatever, do some checking out and do a little undercover inspection and figure out what's going on. It could be a three-way switch attached to another light. Okay, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.